Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, people on YouTube. And welcome back to William in Japan. Today is a sunny, warm day, which we are very lucky to have, actually. Next week, rain forecast for Monday till Saturday. We had a lot of rain in the past couple of weeks. And yes, I am very happy we finally get some good weather for riding. So 2 days ago, I picked her up, my Super Sport, from the Ducati dealer for her annual inspection. And those sneaky buggers at Bologna snuck in an ECU reprogram. Yes, you heard that right. I didn't know why Ducati provided this. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Even the day I brought her into the dealer for inspection, they never told me anything about it. But when I was paying my fees, suddenly they said, oh, by the way, there was an ECU reprogram. We done it for you, free of charge, just like that. And I was like, okay, so what's the big deal? So I took her home in these kind of stop and go traffic, and oh my guys, the throttle, it's been completely smoothed out in these very slow paces, which is a big deal for me, guys. So you know I commute on this baby, and one of the biggest problems I have is the grabby handle. And sometimes, you know, Ducatis, they don't like going slow speeds, so they kind of stutter, runs back and forth, jiggling around with a constant throttle input. But that's all gone now, guys. That's all gone. So this is huge for me, at least for a commuter. But of course, this is a sporty bike. We must test it out in Twisties, right? So we are on the way. See you when we get to the fun part. Right, welcome back, guys. We are now on Route 60, heading towards Miyagase Lake. So some of you might have heard this name before, because I did make a video about heading from Lake Sagami to Miyagase. And most of the people, tourists, will take that route from the north. But today we're taking it from the south, from the city of Atsugi. Thank you, sir. I'm pretty lucky. I'm behind a Subaru that's definitely enjoying his drive as well. So the pace, it definitely isn't bad. So I digress. So how does it feel after the ECU reprogrammed by Ducati? Well, before I talk about the twisty part, I'll give you a quick review on what I felt on the highway trying to get here. So first of all, I definitely kind of get what Michael Neves, if you have heard of that name before, he is the senior test rider at MCN and one of the best journalists out there. So anyways, he was comparing this engine in the Monster, in the Hypermotard, and the Multistrada. So he says in the Super Sport, it was the most what word did he use? Uninspirational. Back then, when I read his review on this, I was thinking like, no, I love this engine, it feels great. What the heck is he talking about? Not inspirational. But after that ECU reprogram, I kind of get it now. God, it feels so good. Of course, I already mentioned the smoother power band, the smoother ride in the low revs. But now, back then, it really runs out of puff after 8,000 RPM. Heck, it pulls all the way to redline now. Of course, I couldn't do all the way to redline, but at least from 7,000 to 10,000 RPM or else on the highway, oh God. The bike woke up, guys. The bike woke up. She's now one heck of a, I won't say a monster, definitely not. She's still timid, at least for Ducati standards. But the whole engine did wake up. It's a bit more peaky, very little. Mid-range feels a lot more beefier, but that may be just a psychological thing. Definitely might not be the case. At least that's what I felt. And now let's see if we can go through this traffic first. Yep, I think I got it. Oh, that's why that motorcycle is going so slow. There's a freaking bus in front of us. Oh well. I'll cut it for now and come back a bit later. See you in a bit. Right, back on the route. Thankfully, got rid of that bus really quickly. Back on the route. So, where was I? Yes. The mid-range feels a lot more beefier now. So going through these little quick sweeping turns, it feels great. You just need a very little input in the axle, in the throttle I mean. And the bike just runs through really smoothly. Gear change can be lazy, sorry, as per usual. The torque still feels really nice. Now flicking from side to side, you barely need to touch your brakes like this. You get off the throttle, give it a bit more juice when you need it, and really, it is such a smooth ride now. I want to go over those manhole covers, sorry. Usually they are not slippery, but I don't like taking my chances. Yeah, this feels good, launching through these corners. You can keep it at third gear. Steady throttle. And it's nice and smooth. You have power everywhere you need it. I think the engine brake actually is a bit weaker too. I'm still in sports mode. Setting hasn't changed from what I used to use. As a whole, yeah, I must say the bike just feels alive. Back then, again, going back to Michael Neves, he did say this bike's a bit lazy. You have to carry more corner speed, ride with the flow, because it is lazy side to side because of the frame and the weight, of course. And also, I think that's maybe a bit of the throttle response problem as well. Yeah, it feels really good, guys. I don't know what to say. Hell yeah, it feels so good now. A bit of traffic in front of us, so we're gonna slow down and go over my thoughts. So blasting through those corners, of course, most of you may say that's way too slow, but I feel comfortable at that speed. Anywho, in second gear, third gear, and fourth gear, the whole ride just feels way smoother and more lively. I don't need to give as much gas that I used to do in the past. And hell yeah, it just feels good. In the slow paces, when I was doing commuting work, I always say it was herky-jerky. But now, I really don't feel that anymore. Yes, there is still some bad feeling in second gear, but it's way less of a RPM range, if I may put it. Speed range and RPM range just feels way better. I might not need to get a new bike, frankly speaking. This may be good enough. I really did not expect that. Okay, since we're stuck in traffic, I'm going to cut it off for a bit and come back to my final thoughts. So guys, rounding out my thoughts, the Super Sport was meant to be a sport bike on the road. It was developed in mind for some traveling. That's why it came with panniers, if you want, has a adjustable windscreen, and has a touring mode instead of a road mode, which frankly speaking is the same thing. But anywho, it does have comfort, long range in mind, yet it has a old monster frame, a tubular one of course, so that's why it's a bit chunky. 210 kilograms wet and ready to go. Compared with the new monster, it is around 25 kilograms more heavier. Of course it has the fairings, but the frame itself does cause a big difference. And going back to Michael again, as he mentioned, the engine is uninspiring in some point. For myself, easy road riding, commuting work, the torque, nice and flat one, really helps going on in stop and go traffic. But on these kind of flowy roads, blasting out of corners, indeed, it kind of lacks power from time to time, according to RPMs. But thankfully, those Ducati geniuses done their magic. Now, this bike feels completely different, especially in the low to mid-range. It gives you smoother throttle, more direct connection, and more direct acceleration, which I must say, again, is huge. I'm still pondering if I should switch to the next bike or not, but after this, I'm definitely having a new, let's say, a new idea of just keeping it. Why not, guys, right? Look at her. She's just beautiful. Great bike, comfortable, and now fast as well. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. This has been William, and see you next time. Bye-bye.